What's good, y'all? It's your girl Zeze back with another 11 vid. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on my notifications bell, get us join a thumbs up, share this mug, all that. You feel me? So today's video is going to be another reaction, baby. You know what we do. So yeah, we're going to get straight to the point. It's a teacher. I think this was one of them little Vice. This is what the YouTube channel is, Vice, but I think it's one of those like where they have different sides of the table on one topic. So this is some parents and some teachers, I'm assuming, talking about their experience or their thoughts and experiences with, I'm guessing, LGBT agendas or teachers, something to that effect in the classroom. And this is a male teacher who's talking about how he had some parents remove their children out of his classroom because they saw he wore makeup. So let's get into it. We go, you know, say our thoughts off afterwards. Let's get into it. Egregious. How is everything between?
With school choice, it gets a little bit tricky, right? My first class had the first day, I had 25 students. By day 2, I had 19 because 6 parents switched out of the class because they saw me and they were like, there's no freaking way, before I even got a word in.
As a parent, I would want to know, like, do you not think that that is okay or they're right to withdraw when they see you? Because ultimately, you're probably an excellent educator.
I appreciate that.
I have no doubt about that. But I think we get into muddy waters when we start trying to take that choice away from the parent.
Do I think that it is okay for a parent to see me and go, not around my kid? No, I don't think that's okay. I feel like that's really crossing the line because you are, for lack of better words, discriminating against me openly. That's like seeing a black teacher and being like, there's no way. It is the same. It is the same.
It's not the same, and here's why. You can't control what color your skin is, but you can control if you decide to put on makeup or not in the morning. Secondly, ideologies can be discriminated against. We do it all the time. If we saw somebody that was wearing a Ku Klux Klan mask and teaching children, we would say, we don't want that ideology being taught to our kids. In the same way, if you as a man are dressing up, wearing makeup, and teaching our children, you're teaching them that that's okay. And I don't believe that it's okay. And it's not your job as a teacher to push your ideology onto children. It's the parents' job to put their ideology into children.
Sometimes.
Exactly. Shout out to this content creator, Cass TV. Never heard of him before, but you want to pour with your commentary, sir. So yeah. But back to the main point at hand, because I'll get to the last part of that when he talks about comparing that to. Actually, let me address that first. We're gonna stop. I've been saying this for a while now. We need to stop. We have got to stop. I don't know if that dude in the video is black. I mean, he looked like he's black. He looks a little ambiguous, though. He could be mixed, could be, I don't know, Latino. Who the fuck knows? Okay, I don't know. He looked like, I'm gonna guess he's black, though. But I'm tired, so sick, especially with black people doing this. But honestly, anybody and everybody comparing black issues or black people with other groups, it's not the same. Okay, we 400 years. We can't control our skin color, just like the dude just said. Brother, it's not the same. It is not the same. All right. But I will say to his point, even within that, let me say on the other side of that, I don't want a white person teaching my child. Let me just, if I put my child inside a public school and ended up with a white teacher, and I found out another teacher, a black teacher particularly, had room for other students, I will pull my child out and put them inside the black. I'm always gonna bet on black. I'm always gonna bet on black. Okay. I'm always gonna bet on black. Okay, that's just is what it is. I'm sorry. It's too many possibilities that come with white teachers. Now there is some also on the other hand with black teachers as well. You got your stuff. Because we are victims of white supremacy, and so there's side effects to that can be affected, come off and be passed on to our children, of course. But I'm always going to bet on black. So if I can get a black teacher for my child, I'm always going to. And then there's studies and stuff like that shows that black children do better with black teachers in general. So yeah, I'm going to push my child to go to the black teacher anyways, regardless. But anyways, back to the original point. Now I think parents should absolutely have the right. I don't think that's necessarily discrimination or a negative thing, or even I don't think it's something that the teacher should be offended about. Okay. I do understand inside this liberal, heavily propagated, society we live in, heavily gay agenda. Let me say the gay agenda is heavily propagated in this society that we're in. that you think more people will be desensitized or more understanding or more accepting, you know, of you wearing makeup as a man, you know, me, or being effeminate, because it has a very feminine way of talking, you know, it has very light voice, and then with the makeup and things like that, it's very, you know, very feminine, okay, very feminine. You would think that more people are more accepting. Okay, that's to you, that's fine, and which a lot more people are, just in general, a lot more people are. It's not the majority, but it is a lot more people that are accepting to that, you know, or more willing to have their children, moreover, to be around that or learn about it. However, for people that are more traditional, people who are even more religious, you know, that have have cultures, beliefs passed down to them that don't align with that, they're not going to feel comfortable with their children inside those sort of classrooms, inside of classrooms with teachers who are pushing, who are not even pushing necessarily, but are an example of something that they do not see fit for that particular gender, you know, for certain gender roles, for the man and for the woman. It's just, and that's just is what it is. I don't think that's something that you should be offended about, okay? Because even if you say like, well, you know, that's discriminating, that's blatantly discriminating against you, it's like, okay, well, it is what it is. As a parent, it is completely on them to teach that child what beliefs, what moral values, what behaviors, you know, to instill their own programming into the child. It's on them, because whatever that child produces as far as behaviors, as far as talking, as far as thinking, that up until they're 18, the parents will reap the repercussions of what that child does. Most of the blame will fall on the parents up until that child is grown. And so with that being said, if those parents believe that this is something that does not benefit them, does not add to their progression, that it may be harmful, it may be confusing, may add to a sort of destruction to them, then that is something they have the right to keep away from the child, regardless of how you feel. You really shouldn't even feel a way about it, because it's not your children. Nobody's forcing them to do anything. So they should completely have the option to remove their child from a classroom like that. It is what it is. And that's funny. I was just talking to my sister, because I just left, I was just in DR. My sister was saying, like, you know, I forgot who she was saying used to say this, but she was saying, like, yeah, you know, however you live, you know, eventually when you're around someone, their lifestyle is going to come with them. Meaning, like, they will always expose who they really are at some point in time. It's eventually going to come out. And so having that risk with children, say for you have a highly religious family, a Christian family, Muslim family, whatever the case may be, even if they're not Muslim or even spiritual at all, maybe they're religious or spiritual at all, maybe they just don't believe in anything outside of heterosexuality. They don't want to pass on, they don't want their children being indoctrinated with anything outside of heterosexuality. Okay, fine. If they allow their child to go inside a classroom with a man who, I mean, I'm not going to say he's gay, but come on, more than likely he is. Okay, but let's just say he is. And one day, you know, he has a little boyfriend, a little friend that comes by, drops off some lunch for him, does something sweet, you know, pops up on him at his job, no recess or something. All the kids ain't paying attention, they playing and da-da. But your child just so happens to look over when their little friend comes in. And their little friend gives a little peck on the lips. They do a little kiss and bye, babe, bye, honey, see you later. And now that little boy, that little girl is looking like, whoa, wait a minute. That's weird. Hey mom, hey dad, I've never seen a boy kiss another boy in the lips. They do that? Boys kiss other boys in the lips like that? I thought mommy and daddy, I thought you guys, boys and girls only kiss each other like that. You know, in the princess movies and this and that. I've only seen boys and girls do this. So boys and boys do that too? Girls and girls do that too. What's you know, mom and dad? Now you have a whole lining of questioning and a bit of confusion you have to clear up for your child. Whereas if they was just with a heterosexual teacher, you know, who was in a state of stereotypical masculine, who was in a state of stereotypical masculine behaviors, or, you know, position, presenting, let me say like that. Let's just present it as a stereotypical man or woman. that you don't have to have that issue. You know, if a husband comes in, if a boyfriend comes in for a girlfriend or for a wife, that's not confusing. They already see mommy and daddy do that. They already see, you know, their grandma and grandpa do that. They already see uncles and aunts. So it's not a question to it. They probably wouldn't even look. They wouldn't have a, you know what I'm saying? There wouldn't even be any curiosity there, you know. But as soon as they see a man, even if they don't see that, as soon as they see a man with makeup on, they're like, oh, mom. Oh, wait, mom, I thought you wore makeup. I thought auntie wore makeup. I thought grandma put color on her lips and color on her eyes. But my teacher, Tom, he wears makeup too. He puts color on his lips. And so can I put color on my lips? Can I put color on my what you call it too? Is that okay? Can I paint my nails? And now you're sitting here having to explain to your little boy why that's not, you know, why they do that and that's okay for them and why this is not okay for you. And you're having to rush the process. Maybe you're not ready to have that conversation with your children. Maybe you're not ready to explain that. You know, and sadly in this day and age, a lot of times that conversation does have to come earlier on regardless because of the such heavy propaganda within schools. I mean, you're talking about this is one thing, but I remember doing a reaction to what was it? I think it was a reverend or pastor, lieutenant governor, who was going up against the state, I think like the school board, and exposing how they had these inappropriate books in schools, and it was literally like describing boy on boy sex. Like literally describing a little boy giving another little boy head, like literally, you know what I'm saying? And then had imagery other than the pictures. And it's way worse. It came out that it's a lot more books like that too. You know, not only just that lieutenant governor, but it's a lot more people coming out and exposing these books as well, where it's not only just boy on boy, it's girl on girl, it's even guy on girl, where they're literally sexually explicit. So a lot of this stuff is being supplied to the children. A lot of this propaganda is being promoted to the children unknowingly from the parents, you know. And then on top of that, you got drag queens doing strip dances, strip teases at damn schools and stuff. I mean, it's crazy the amount of propaganda that is being promoted to our children, you know. So again, a lot of the times that conversation is going to come a little early on nowadays anyways. But you signing your child up for that is basically, you know, you're putting them forward for a person who does not believe in that, who is not interested in anti-sexual behavior and doesn't want their children interested in it either. That is not conducive to their beliefs. That is not conducive to producing a child that is not curious of that is not confused, that is not interested in thinking or doing things of that nature, doing things of that sort. So why would they sign their child up to be in a classroom with a male who's has such blatant feminine behaviors, you know? And this is just what like I said, this is just we're seeing. We talking about the makeup, but it's not just the makeup, at least not for me. It's not just the makeup, it's the high tone of voice. It's the bit of sassiness he has. It's probably, he might have a switch in his walk. He might have a flag up in his room for all we know. He might have little things, he might say little things in here and there to students like, hey, you can be who you want to be. Hey, little Bobby, you want to play the princess this time? We're going to do role play in the story. Oh, Bobby, you want to play the princess? Sure, that's no big of a deal. You can play the princess. Sure. Hey, little Sarah, you want to be the princess? Sure, who cares? It's just a story, right? It's not that big of a deal. So little things like that can easily be subconsciously programmed into your children and help introduce them to anti-sexual behavior. And that is not... It's not it, man. Okay. So I'm not rocking with that. I'm not rocking with that. And what concerns me more is he's talking about how he had 26 students, and like he had 19 or 20. That means the majority of parents allow their children to stay in your classroom. Now, I don't know if he works at a predominantly black school or not, but I mean, that's still, I see that kind of still as a problem, that the majority of parents didn't see your makeup or anything like that as a problem. Like, I would see that as a problem for my son in particular, but even for my daughter, for my children in general, I wouldn't want to sign my children up for that. My nieces and nephews up for that. I'm sorry. It's just not it. Maybe it would even be a little bit different if he was just more effeminate, maybe a little more, maybe a little bit more effeminate, and he, but he's still dressed like a man. He still talk like a man, things of that nature. And he was just, it was something that kind of adults kind of caught on to, like, look, got a little sugar in his teeth. Okay, a little, it was something like that. But if it's so blatant to the point where you're literally wearing a full face of makeup, around children. I mean, first of all, who you coming into to impress? Man, you wear a full makeup for at school for anyway. Who you coming in to impress? Okay, we were around a bunch of damn kids. Okay, but yeah, nah, I'm not rocking with that song. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. What your thoughts are? Would you allow your children to be in a classroom with a teacher like this? Have this happen to you? How do you feel about it? Do you think these type of teachers can pass on behaviors or mentalities, thoughts, ideas that do not belong to them? Just being around teachers like this. How do you feel? Other than that, baby, that's all I got. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. All right, y'all.